Okay, a couple of days have gone by now since I took this apart, and I have now received the Bulletproof Diesel FICM power supply, and there it is. Here it is in comparison to the OEM right here, Bulletproof Diesel right here. So you can see the configuration of this power supply is significantly different. I do not know everything about that logic board there and everything that has been changed. They claim that it is more rugged, it's more dependable, and they're upgraded components on that logic board in comparison to the OEM. So now I am going to put it together. So I will take the OEM and set it off to the side. And in the package, they offer instructions. Most of it has to do with disassembly, your various warnings in comparison to the 4-pin and the 7-pin, and how you're going to go about doing this. And a good bit of this assembly portion of it has to do with if you had a 6-phase system and setting it up for the voltage that you wanted. So these are 4-phase and 6-phase capabilities that you can get from Bulletproof Diesel. I went with the 4-phase. That's the one that I had in the vehicle to begin with. I wasn't going to try to upgrade the voltage or do anything like that. I just want a replacement. I just want the thing back up and running, and I wasn't going to mess with any of that. So one of the things, and I think I mentioned this in the previous video, was on the OEM power supply there is a gasket, and in the instructions they do tell you that they want you to reuse that gasket. So I'm going to take it off of the OEM and put it on the Bulletproof one, and then I am going to put that power supply right back on again. So with the gasket in place, I am going to take the logic board portion of the OEM FICM, which I'm obviously reusing. I am only going after the power supply, and then I'm going to put the fasteners back in it again, which are the Torx 20s that go in around the edge right here. And I retained my old ones and didn't have any problems getting them out, but Bulletproof Diesel does send you a new set of them. Why not just use the new fasteners they gave me? So let's go ahead and just put those new ones in real quick. See if there's... Well, I can tell you they screw into it a lot easier. It is still a 20 Torx fastener. Alright, so yeah, let's just use the new ones. Why not? Put them on in the 4 corners first to make sure that everything's lined up. I won't tighten them down all the way just yet. Let's just make sure everything lines up. Yeah, so everything was fine. I ordered it, you know, I would say probably right now well, there could be more frustration associated with this in a minute if I figure out that's not my problem, but as far as the ordering process was concerned, everything was fine. The only thing that I ran into that was frustrating to me was it was only when I was checking out on their website and I was setting up the shipping information. I went ahead and paid a little extra money to have the thing shipped here in 2 days. You know, I got a vehicle that's sitting out there that's in op right now, and you know, I just wanted to get the unit here. But anyway, come to find out that anything you order from them that's over $450 requires a signature upon delivery. That irritates me. You know, that should be my choice. Now I understand this is an expensive electrical component, and you know, they don't from their end, I can understand they don't want to get hit up with, hey man, I got this thing and it was damaged or whatever. It's because it was sitting in it was sitting out in the rain or whatever. I mean, I get it, but to a certain extent too, I literally had to take a day off of work just so I could meet this guy, because it was supposed to be here yesterday and I was at work, and it was one of those things where my FedEx guy is notoriously later in the afternoon anyway, so I kind of figured I'd be home from work by the time this delivery would come. Well, of all days where I needed to be here and give the guy a signature, he comes mid-morning, and I'm like, okay, well, the only way I'm going to get this thing, I've got a vehicle that's in op, I need this thing, and I got to take a day off from work just to take delivery on it. So if there's anything so far in terms of the ordering process and all that, I'd say that that's probably the most frustrating aspect of it, is that obviously this component is expensive enough where it was going to require a signature. But anyway, it's here now. No big deal. You run into those things sometimes, and Alright, so far everything's fitting good. The new fasteners are going down in there. No problem with the threads. There's no galling on the threads or in the power supply itself as far as the thread pattern being galled up. So everything seems to be working fine here. There might be a specific spec on these in terms of what the torque would be. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to look it up. I'm not even sure where the heck I'd go and find it, and it would probably be in some sort of repair manual somewhere, so I'm just going to give it a good solid little tightening on that without overdoing it. I feel satisfied that that is on there securely. Just looking around the edges here, I don't, as far as the machining of this is concerned, I don't see, everything seems to fit fine with that logic board. Alright, so let's get these 4 pins back into place. That they did not give me new fasteners for this. So let's get these back in there. The more I get to looking at these, the more I keep thinking that these were actually Torx. Alright, I'm wrong. It is actually a Torx, and it is a see if I can read it. It's a small one. Looks like it's number 10. Alright, so just through my screw up right there, we know that a 5/64 Allen key or a number 10 Torx will work, I guess. Alright, okay. I don't do these all the time. I am not an expert on this. I am not making this video to profess that I am an expert on it. I'm just taking you through my experience. My YouTube page here is about, what goes on here on our horse farm. obviously fixing equipment and horses and land and trees and lake projects and fencing, and all those things are part of it. So, I'm just making this video to just show you what's going on with my truck. So, I am going to make mistakes on my channel, and I try to learn from them. And this is one of them right here. The number 10 Torx is what I should have been using. It's probably in these directions somewhere that I just skimmed over. And definitely, just from taking these off a few days ago, they had a good little pop on them when I got them loose, but they weren't extremely difficult. So I'm not going to try to put these in very tight either. Just make sure that they're on there good. All right, we're on. Now, normally I would leave, according to these directions that came with this, they're having you do a voltage check on this after you put it in the vehicle and after you put these connectors back on again. Then in the directions it tells you to come in here with a voltmeter, and you're going to do a voltage check on it at this pin location. In my case, I have the scan gauge, and so I know with key on and the engine not running, I know what the voltage of this FICM is. So I'm gonna use that as my source of determining the voltage. They also sent me a new cover for it. I retained my other cover. I wasn't sure when I was reading this if I was going to get a new cover. They offered their cover as an extra cost, and I didn't feel like I needed to do that. So I just retained my own cover with the gasket, and then come to find out they sent me a cover. So let's just go ahead and put theirs on. Plus it's a lot cooler looking than the original one. And it already has a gasket embedded in there, and it has their logo on it. So let's just go for it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this cover on because I'm not going to be doing that voltage check from this pin location. I'm going to be doing it off of my scan gauge, which is through my my OBD port. Alright, so using their fasteners, using their cover in their power supply. So I would just say right off that everything is machined very well, everything was threaded very well, everything is going in just fine, no problems. You know, you run into that sometimes where you get somebody else's piece of equipment and come to find out, you know, the holes don't line up exactly the way they should, and the threads weren't done right, and it's all galled up in there, and you end up having to tap it out or something stupid like that. And so right now I would just say that everything's going in really well. Once again, I'm not just gonna really go crazy on this torque. Okay, so it's all back together. That took every bit of about 10 minutes to do it. And so I'm going to go out there and I'm going to put it in the truck, and let's see how this thing works. All right, while I'm at it and I'm here on the bench, you know, I ordered my scan gauge from Bulletproof Diesel as well. It's under the box. And so when they sent it to me, they sent me a little package like this. You know, with just some stuff in there. It's some other stuff that they offer at Bulletproof Diesel. You know, there's a brochure in there of just different things. And but one of the things that kind of made me laugh, kind of made me sad and laugh all at the same time, and that was that I'm a sticker guy. I love stickers. And so, oh wow, I actually got more stickers on this package. So I got some stickers in here. They sent, this one's cool. They sent me 3 stickers this time. So this is kind of cool. And let me see if this one, yeah. So in the when I got the scan gauge, they also sent me this cool koozie, okay, that has kind of their logo on it. But this was kind of the sad part. A 6.0 liter survival kit. And that's your koozie. Yeah, because obviously you're going to be probably drinking a lot of beer with some of the frustration you have with these 6.0s. So I thought that was kind of, it made me laugh and then kind of sad at the same time that you get your own specialized koozie when dealing with these 6.0s because of the frustration level associated with them. Okay, so anyway, enough of that. Let's get this thing in the truck. My truck is not operational right now. I need it up and operating, and I want to see if I'm going in the right direction with replacing this FICM. So let's get it done. Okay, I've got the FICM put back in, and I didn't show the installation of it. Everything just went back, obviously, in reverse order of taking it apart. So anyway, I've got it in, and now what I'm going to do is right there, I am getting a signal from it, and my FMP FICM main power is sitting there at 49. I'm going to go ahead and go key on. I'm going to let it go through the injector clatter. And that sound that you hear there is it. And it's dropping a little bit. And now I'm going to attempt to start. And we got to start. A little rough there for a second. And then here are my indicators. So I've got sync up here on the top left. That's good. My injector pressure regulator is sitting there at about 51 right now. That should be between 15% and 85%. My FICM is sitting there modulating about 47.5 up to about 49. And my injector control pressure right now is sitting there at about 1320 psi or so, modulating just ever so slightly. So went from a no start condition to using my scan gauge to look at some of the basic parameters that might cause a crank but no start. I determined it to be my FICM was dropping too low, and that and then after doing some research on it, I discovered that about 9 times out of 10, if you have a FICM voltage that is dropping too low, that it's usually the power supply and not the logic board. So I ordered a new power supply from BulletProof Diesel out of Mesa, Arizona, and I put it in, and my truck cranked up. So right now I'm pretty happy. So let me turn my, I used a jumper box because it had been sitting here for a couple of days with no power on it. So I just brought my jumper box out to kind of help me out here. Even though, probably can't hear a word I'm saying, even though my batteries were charged because I had them on a charger. So, all right, so there we go, round 2 on my 6.0 in terms of it not charging. I'm sorry, not cranking. And so
I just took you through the process of what I found, and so far it seems like it was in fact the fuel injector command module, the FICM. I'm done with this for right now. That issue is fixed. My crank and no start. I went after the FICM, ordered a new power supply from Bulletproof Diesel, put it in, and it cranked right up. All right, on to the next project.